Episode 641. Deception's Yurndo slashed down. Lord Grimm's battle lance thrust out. In unison, 2 sprays of blood erupted, and the launcher collapsed. With a clatter, a piece of equipment dropped from the launcher. Deception's focus sharpened to a razor's edge in that instant, his mouse cursor moving so fast even he couldn't track it. He clicked purely on instinct.
Got it.
Deception felt a surge of excitement and turned his camera with some pride, expecting to see Lord Grimm beside him, only to find the spot empty.
Not running? Waiting to die?
Lord Grimm's voice came from ahead. Deception spun around to see him already 5 body lengths away. How could he be so fast? Unless he never intended to pick up the loot in the first place. Deception's heart sank. As he ran, he opened his inventory. He'd been so focused on the speed of his actions that he hadn't even looked at what dropped. Deception spotted the new item in his inventory immediately and felt a wave of disappointment. What dropped was a pair of boots, not terrible, but far from what he'd hoped for. Definitely not worth fighting tooth and nail over.
No wonder that guy never made a move.
Deception turned his view back, taking another look. The launcher's corpse was still there. He committed the name to memory.
Over here.
Deception was still thinking about the equipment when a shout rang out. A pair of players burst out from directly ahead, blocking their path. Deception didn't hesitate. He twisted and leaped for the wall, thinking, that street was rigged, but surely they haven't set this one up yet. Deception refused to believe their commotion could have covered the entire wilderness town. But the moment he popped his head out, a heavy sword came crashing down with an immensely weighty blade light. Deception's reaction was swift. He swung his ninja blade, not a blade master's skill block, no system assist or judgment, purely player-driven manual operation. You could say this was also an attack, but the target wasn't the opponent. It was the sword they swung. Players call this type of attack a parry. If successful, it could also neutralize the damage from the opponent's attack. Parrying is harder than attacking. After all, a missed attack might not lead to anything serious, but if a parry fails, you're essentially taking the hit head-on. But in this situation, Deception had no choice but to parry. His mouse flicked, and the ninja sword he swung carved an arc of light, meeting the heavy blade dead-on. With a loud clang, Deception narrowly avoided the heavy sword strike, but there was no way he could leap back onto the roof. The force of that blow sent him crashing back down to the street.
I said, don't you ever learn?
Lord Grimm's words drifted over, leaving Deception momentarily stunned. They've already set up people over here too. Just how big is the encirclement these guilds have laid out this time?
Don't always think about the rooftops. This way.
Lord Grimm called out, but slipped into an empty room. Without pausing, he cut straight through the hall and vaulted out the back window. Deception rushed in after him and was about to leap out the window when a figure flashed in from outside. He quickly tensed for a slash, but then recognized the name above the newcomer's head, Lord Grimm.
There are even more people over there than here.
Lord Grimm was smiling, but the news he delivered was anything but funny. Deception didn't hesitate for a second. He turned and bolted back out the door, only to find both ends of the street already blocked. The rooftops on either side held unknown dangers, and his character was still in combat mode, no logging out. Deception was out of ideas. He figured today might be the day he finally got caught. He figured that killing that launcher earlier had cost him too much time. If he hadn't been delayed there, he might have been able to escape by now. Deception was a bit annoyed. In all his years of scavenging, his primary goal had always been to get away clean. To pull that off, the key was knowing when to be satisfied and not getting greedy. How many scavengers, when they could have gotten out clean, spotted one shiny piece of gear, went all in, and ended up dead on the spot? Unlike those scavengers who risk their lives for money, Deception wanted both his life and the money. But this time, it looked like his unbreakable scavenging streak was about to be broken. All that gear in his backpack, who knew how much would spill out?
Don't block the doorway.
Deception had been busy pondering his own funeral arrangements when Lord Grimm suddenly shouted out and squeezed through the door as well.
Whoa, quite the spectacle.
After coming out, Lord Grimm swiveled his camera around, taking in the view as he muttered to himself. The guild teams on either side weren't rushing in. They were taking their time to perfect the encirclement. Trapping the turtle in the jar was just a matter of time.
Looking at it this way, I still think that street over there has fewer people.
With that, Lord Grimm immediately turned back toward the window. Deception was practically coughing up blood, but he wasn't willing to die just yet. He followed Lord Grimm back into the room, only to see Lord Grimm rush to the window and then stop.
What are you doing?
Deception looked utterly baffled.
Ready, move out.
Lord Grimm shouted this command, and Deception saw him toss a grenade before diving out the window, the blast of the explosion masking his exit. But Deception knew none of his teammates would be affected by it. He leaped up, crouched low, and slipped out through the window.
Moving in.
2 words flashed through the team channel. Deception caught a glimpse of the window. Outside, players were scattered everywhere from that grenade blast. Lord Grimm had already dashed across the street and was leaping up onto the rooftop. Deception didn't dare linger. This little grenade's blast radius wasn't that big. It only cleared out the players clustered around the window. The others behind him had already charged in with their weapons drawn. Deception didn't dare just bolt. He hit the ground and rolled, slipping away from the window. Even so, he still took a few hits, but luckily his health wasn't in danger. Deception swallowed a potion, then leaped up, expertly using his ninja blade to scale the wall. This building wasn't too tall. With a single leap, Deception was already on the roof. A quick glance below showed the street packed with players, ranged attacks flying everywhere. Deception had to tumble across the rooftop to dodge several incoming shots.
Why didn't you jump over here just now?
As soon as Deception got up there, he realized there were no ambushes on the rooftop. He immediately asked.
Not now doesn't mean not before.
Lord Grimm replied, then turned and led the way.